Attention, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. The views and opinions expressed on this show are not necessarily those of Axe Ministry, Axe Media Group, and or their affiliate and subordinate ministries and or nonprofits.
Yeah. There you go. Bring it. This is the Morning Mouth. This is the Morning Mouth.
I went right back to the picture, but that's all right.
Right back to the picture.
We'll do this. You ready?
Still the Morning Mouth.
Still the Morning
With
Mouth.
your host, Johnny Rooster,
Hello.
and
Pastor Matt.
we are together in the ringside here, showing you how to fight.
Ding, ding, ding.
How to fight.
Should have called it how to pick your battles, but that's not as lovely as
It takes too
phrase.
long on a thumbnail. We're looking at how to fight.
All
You
right.
gotta fight. You gotta be a fighter these days. There's so many people that don't know how to fight. They fight dirty. They fight ugly. They fight mean. But we gotta fight clean. But we gotta fight because there's
It's
a
like
lot of things out there worth fighting for.
Putting your putting horseshoes in your gloves.
No, not like that. Not like that. You know, first of all, there's different styles of fighting, as you may know.
Well, yeah.
You shaved your head for this occasion. I mean,
Yeah,
you're a
yeah.
wrestler mode.
Yeah, I look kind of like a wrestler.
Well, we're looking at martial arts today, Pastor Matt. I'm your host, Johnny Rooster. We talk about things on the Morning Mouth that don't normally get discussed on Axe Media Group. But that's what we're all about. Add a little something to your morning. A little different than coffee. Maybe a few cubes extra for the sugar.
Yeah,
Maybe not.
yeah. You know, you gotta love extra cubes of sugar.
You got to love something extra, and here we go. Now, there's 3 types of fighting I want to talk about before we get into how to fight, because we've got to learn as Christians, a people of moral, ethical faith, how to fight with the people that we don't agree with. We got to fight, but we can't fight dirty.
Oh, you're right. Oh, sorry.
So we got to do it. The 3 types of martial arts that are most common, what are they? Taekwondo,
Karate.
and Kung Fu. Each of them comes from a different country, a different culture in Asia.
Of course, then you got boxing.
Yes, but we're going to just talk about these 3. Now, which one of these, karate, Kung Fu, or Taekwondo, where are they from?
Taekwondo, I think, is from what? Japan? No.
Bzzzt, wrong answer. Taekwondo is from Korea.
Oh.
Boo.
You
No.
suck.
Now that's going to leave China and Japan, okay? Kung Fu.
Oh, yeah. That's Kung Fu is China.
Cheer. Yeah. Good job. And that would mean karate is Japan because, Karate Kid.
Karate. But then you got boxing.
Yes, you got boxing.
Sorry, I had to do that.
Here's the
That's-
difference. That's okay
that's
because
the
the
belt.
different, and of course you got wrestling and all that too. But what we want to tell you about, if you fight with the Kung Fu, we're going to start there with China. It's from the Shang Dynasty from thousands of years ago, like way
Shang.
before we were born, like before anybody I know was born, before my granddaddy was
Shang
born.
Dynasty. Oh,
This
Shang.
was Kung Fu took place in temples, and it
Bless you.
promoted skill and
Oh.
hard work. It was used to stop violence. Now listen to this. Kung Fu is used to stop violence. It's not to promote violence.
No.
It's an external side, which is quick movements.
It's
and
how to know
got-
when. It's like how to know when not to fight.
That's right. It's how to stop the violence. When it shows up, you're going to stop it. Now, you can move quick with the external, and a lot of young people practice the Kung Fu quick moves. The older folks are internal, spirit, mind,
They're about deflecting.
slow deflection, hands, feet. So they use the hands, they use the feet, and they do dress with light shoes and a silk outfit. They focus on the spirit, the mind, and they also use 18 different weapons, including the battle axe and the chain spear.
Really?
So there's a lot to it. The
The
silk
chain spear.
uniform,
That's wicked.
wicked stuff. The stuff that you'd see in the Inquisition or even a real hostile environment, really bad. So that's how the Kung Fu in China, we're talking about how to fight. One way to do it is to fight Kung Fu from China.
Sorry, that's a little longer than I expected.
That's good. No, I like it. It's very
Here we go.
reverberatory. Reverberatory. You must
Reverberatory.
fight fight, fight. Kung Fu, that's one. Now, they wear the light shoes. They do soft, round movements for the internal and the external. Quick, 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 quick. Now we go down to Japan. Karate. Karate in Japan was the early 20th century, became popular in Okinawa. But before that, they said it was in the closet for 2,000 years.
Isn't that where Mr. Miyagi was from?
Mr. Miyagi, yes. Daniel-san. So, 2,000 years of hibernation for karate. Now, karate uses no weapons. They are known for barefoot and not for shoes. They also use the belt for colors and different, of course, black being the most. But the complex code and rules of conduct are military style in karate. They have a huge discipline behind a karate. And it's called, what karate means is empty hand, because they focus on no weapons, empty hand.
Oh, yeah.
So, that's the karate. They also support law and order.
Can break your face.
They want to support law and order and restoring things to their proper
respect and honor.
Respect and honor. And all the appropriate things are appropriate
I'll just show you. Yes, you'll die now.
I'll do
I'll kill you.
overdubs. Now we go finally. The final one is Taekwondo from South Korea. It is actually the national sport of South Korea, Taekwondo. Now there are no weapons. They use a bow. They use bow staff, which can be a weapon.
Yeah.
But the white cotton uniform and the belt, again, for self-improvement. These are perseverance and preserving the idea that you can improve. All of these studies are linked to some kind of a spiritual side. In our opinion, as Christians, Buddhism is not the true way, but they have beliefs that are helpful when you're studying these arts.
Yeah.
Again, we're not promoting them. We're just telling you there's three different main things that people talk about. There are more than 100 martial arts, by the way, and it would be overwhelming to go into all of them.
Yeah.
So I just discovered with you karate from Japan, Taekwondo from South Korea, and Kung Fu from China, each of them a different discipline with a purpose of stopping violence, improving yourself, and to create law and order, support law and order. So we are not chaotic, violent motions when we're doing this kind of fight. Now, we're going to step away from that ring and tell you how to fight, because so many people are fighting wrong. Pastor Matt, they're fighting dirty. Here's what they're doing. Their drive-by comments on Facebook and social media are by Christians to other Christians and by non-Christians to other non-Christians, and then ugly side, Christians fighting worldly people.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And I'm guilty, okay? That's what Johnny Rooster's telling you. I'm guilty of fighting dirty to people that believe differently, and I get angry and ugly. And that's not a good way to fight. Have
angry
you had
and ugly?
Have you had any drag-ins with people of different opinions and you can't shut up?
Yes.
Like you just rise up inside? I do it. I like, I got to shut up.
And then the same thing goes for them. I mean, you go to try and talk to them about it, and they don't listen to you. They talk over you, and then next thing you know, you're yelling at each other because...
And mostly it's texting.
Oh, yeah. Well, the ones I've had have been like...
You've been verbal.
Yes. They've
Face
been...
to face.
Yeah. Yeah, and there's really no hope of being friends.
No, it ruins that.
Just because I support President Trump, I can't be friends with them, apparently.
Apparently a Democrat can't be a friend of a Republican. Apparently an atheist and a Christian.
That's crazy to me.
Okay, I'm going to go further. Racial differences matter to people. And friendship? What about, does friendship matter?
You know, I personally think friendship matters.
But it's hard because we all will say that. But none of us would naturally befriend a person that's different from us because it's uncomfortable. So we have to go out of our comfort zone. That's why we call it a comfort zone.
Yeah, the comfort zone. That's one of those things where you have to establish what your own comfort zone is.
How to fight. That's what we're talking about here on Johnny Rooster and Pastor Matt with Morning Mouth. Now, this Morning Mouth is just a conversation piece. I want you to watch this thing. If you just tuned in, you go back to the beginning. You're going to learn about 3 different common fighting techniques, but they're all rooted in stopping violence, improving yourself, and establishing, supporting law and order.
That sounds pretty good. Sounds like something we can all get behind.
Now, here's why I want to say that. Because people have different beliefs, even different religions. We are Christian. We are conservative. But we don't always find ourselves in a conservative Christian environment, and we fight ugly because we have differences, and that's not right. We need to support law and order. We need to improve ourselves, and we need to slow it down and actually look at what are we talking about, stopping violence.
Yeah, because, I mean, really, what does violence solve?
Yeah. The Proverbs talks about the ways of the violent and how they end in destruction.
Yeah.
So our Bible, our belief is no violence, and yet throughout history you say, well, Christians have attacked and killed in the name of Christianity. So now we have this ugly past, and then our country, it's under attack because we have this ugly thing called slavery, and we have these other ugly things. They're violent reactions today about things that were violent in the past. I'm telling you right now, that's the wrong way to fight.
Yeah.
Destruction of public property and fighting and breaking the law is a wrong way to fight.
That's true.
I agree with that. I'm just have to come down on that and say that's where it's wrong. But personally, for me, I'm not tearing things down, but I'm judging those who do, because I don't want to get into why they're doing it. I just want to say, they're breaking the law. They're wrong.
How dare you have a differing opinion from me?
You can't think different about my history or my statues.
Screw you guys. I'm going in.
So that's how me, as my self-righteous side, we want to fight wrong. And I'm telling you, we're doing this. We want to know how to fight properly. Now, fighting isn't wrong, but the angry, vicious, vindictive, that is wrong. So I described Kung Fu from China, Taekwondo from South Korea, and Karate from Japan, all of them to preserve peace. But they are violent motions to stop further violence.
Yeah.
In fact, you have to be strong against violence, or strong against, what are we calling it? Strong against wrong. That rhymes.
Yeah. Hey,
Strong
that does
against
rhyme.
wrong.
I'm staring at my fist.
I know.
On there.
Can you believe that? Can you guys look at that picture right now? If you're
No, I'm
scrolling
not
by,
sick. I'm
look,
not sick.
It's green for a reason. We went purple and green because they're catching the attention.
You when I'm angry.
Yeah. The Incredible
I like
Hulk.
it. That is a great. I mean,
You think about it, how to fight.
I don't like pictures of myself generally.
I convinced him to take his hat off for this production.
I'm not a huge fan of pictures of myself, but that one.
I'm going to say this. Pastor Matt looks more like a wrestler than almost anyone I know.
I would probably post that as my profile pic on Facebook.
I think you should. And, in fact, I think if you were a bouncer somewhere, I would definitely listen to what you had to say. I wouldn't want to come in contact.
But I'm a huge teddy bear, though.
Yeah, but you don't have to tell them that.
I hate confrontation.
Your face in that picture.
Yeah, that's...
It's awesome.
I just it blows me away. We had to take a few of them, and I'm talking about.
It's like when we're getting this image here, because I really was
my ring kept being kind of like twisted one way or the other.
What we want to do is show an image that stops traffic and gets them to wonder. We want you to know how to fight. So I don't want you to go away from this broadcast without realizing this. If you find yourself in a confrontation, because today's culture is fraught with confrontation, it is overrun with people that are at odds.
Yeah.
And they're on Facebook, they're on social media everywhere, and they're yelling. If you get so angry inside, then do something about it differently. Jesus says, love your enemies, do good to them who hate you.
And pray for those who persecute you.
And it says, if your enemy is hungry, feed him. If he is thirsty, give him something to drink. That, my friend, is meeting your enemy's basic needs.
Doing so, you will heap coals of fire upon their head.
It'll totally get their attention.
Yeah.
I leaned in. I did sarcasm because that was my weakest form of
That's just how
fighting.
you do. That's how you go.
That's how I go.
Is that your go-to?
My second language is sarcasm.
Is that the first arrow in your quiver?
It feels like it. I'm being honest. I want you guys to hear this so that you might be able to get help and go beyond where I am. Where I am is if somebody says something really egregious and really different and I don't agree with it, then I sometimes will answer them, you're right. You're always right. You know what? I was right once. I think it was on a Tuesday. I literally said that to somebody on Facebook recently. The sarcasm was thick, and it shut them up, and I won.
Well,
but I didn't win.
I got a story about sarcasm, too.
I was flippant. I didn't care about their feelings.
Yeah, and I was the same way.
I cared nothing for their feelings.
I was talking to a anti-Trump person
Yeah,
that I
that
work with.
gets me. This was
And he brought up Russia collusion again, and I told him, stop talking. I don't even want to hear about it because, number one, I hear about it on Facebook. I hear about it on the news everywhere. They haven't found anything.
Yeah.
He goes, well, did you actually read the Mueller report? And I said, no, I don't have time to sit and read that stuff. He said, well, there clearly is. And I said, I don't really want to take the time to read it. I said, I tell you what, just consider me uninformed and we'll be good. We'll be understanding. He goes, well, you just don't care about America. And I was mad when he said that, but and then I said, well, I care enough to not vote for Hillary. You know, and
it was just another retort.
And that made him angry, and then it escalated till finally he said, well, you must hate America. And I said, well, you know what? I'm so glad that I can finally say this out loud. I said, yes. Oh, man, it feels so good to be able to say it. I said, you know what I think? I think Russia should go ahead and annex us so that we'll have warm, fuzzy hats to wear in the wintertime. And I said it with, really heavy on the sarcasm.
Yeah.
And he started mumbling all the way to his truck, got in his truck, and we have not talked about politics since.
Yeah.
We've been kind to one another.
Yeah.
But that's one of those things where we both realize, okay, it's not going anywhere. We're not going to be.
Here I'm promoting the idea of how to fight, and I'm not promoting the idea of being at peace with everyone. Even though the Bible says live at peace with everyone, here's how you do it. You can fight fair. You can fight with love, and here's how you do it. You show the person where you can agree with them.
Yeah.
Because, all right, I'm going to use an example. Can I use a real-world example?
Yeah.
There's a person in Springfield that I've known for 6 years, and she would be fine with me mentioning this. But she's an African-American woman who has a very strong view that's different from mine. She's outspoken, and she leads a group of activists. Okay? So Black Lives Matter. That's where she goes. I don't agree with all of Black Lives Matter, but I agree with some things. So here's where we start. I said to her, here's where I want to start with you. And I called her, and I sought her out and said, can we talk? That was the first step, because most of us just want to yell.
I agree.
You got to want to talk. And I said, I want to listen, too. I don't want to just talk. She's good with that. So far, I'm showing you how to fight. You go to that person that you're at odds with.
In love.
In love. And you say, I want to listen to you, because I really know that you don't want to destroy our community. You said publicly, I was at a meeting, a gathering of veterans and police supporters, and she was on a protest side. She was protesting the police promotion. She said accountability with police, but not Blue Lives Matter type thing. We weren't Blue Lives Matter. We were just a rally to support the blue. They were doing opposition and yelling during the national anthem, kneeling during the national anthem.
Blue lives or black lives?
This was the Black Lives people.
Oh, because you had said blue lives.
And the Blue Lives people, which we weren't Blue Lives, we were just a rally to, it's called Back the Blue. That's the rally. This happened in Springfield recently on the square. We had two different groups. One mainly gun-toting veterans, the other mainly mask-wearing angry people that are, you describe them as liberal mindset. Some of them black, but most of them white, because this is our Springfield.
Yeah.
They're angry sounding, and we sound angry to them. Because
it's just a matter of perspective.
What I walked with, Matt, was I walked through our group of blue into the group of black, and I looked at our group from their side, and I didn't see any love. I just saw fierce patriotism.
There you go. There it is. You didn't
now,
see love.
I went around on our side, and I looked towards them, and I didn't see any love.
Right.
Just fiercely determined to shut us down.
When he says went around, he's talking about
and
perspective.
Physically walking to the other side and looking through this other group.
Looking through their, trying to see it through their eyes.
I stood among them, and I felt their hostility, and my heart went to compassion and empathy and love right away. When I stood among them, I wanted to hug every one of them. Guys, that's how to fight.
Yeah.
You go among them, and you listen to them, and you understand the empathy side. What are they trying to do? They're trying to bring police accountability. They had signs of every person they could think of that was killed by police officers. They were grieving the loss. I said to one of them, it had a sign with a name on it. That was a horrible event. That's what I said to her. That's what you do. You empathize, because that was a policeman killed a person.
I think police should have more accountability.
They should, and
I
we
agree with that.
So that's where we agree.
Yeah.
That's where we start. We said we are all in the skin of humanity. The girl that I mentioned stood up before the group, and they let her speak, which I thought was wonderful. I said, please let somebody from the other side speak to this group. Let's hear them out. She said, I wake up every day. You guys can take off your blue uniform. I can't take off my black skin. You don't understand. I've had some things happen in my life. And we agreed. We don't understand.
We talked about it on my show, too, about, the talk that parents have to have with their children.
Yes.
Well, Black Americans have to have a different kind of that talk about what to expect, because unfortunately, and there is a lot in this nation that needs to change, racially speaking, racistly speaking.
Yes.
I'm not speaking racistly. I'm just saying, parents shouldn't have to sit down and have to talk to their children about what is going to happen because of the color of their skin.
Right. Right.
I loved what Morgan Freeman had said when they asked him, how would you end racism?
And say it in his voice.
Well, stop talking about it.
That's right.
I'm going to stop calling you a white man. You stop calling me a black man.
That's right.
That
makes
and
sense.
I am with him on that.
Because the media has
needs to
continued. The public social media, the social media and the national media have continued.
Because we're all human beings.
To propel.
God is not racist. God made us all with love. Jesus died for all of us with love.
I'm going to say you're right. I'm going to also say this. At the meeting that I was at, it was at a Back the Blue rally recently in Springfield.
Mm-hmm.
The Black Lives Matter protesters and the Blue came together, and the media that was there, and I'm saying this to their detriment, only shot video and pictures when they let us come together and yell at each other, and then when we pushed back, they stopped the cameras.
Yeah, because
I saw it with my own eyes.
Yeah.
I saw the fraud.
Media. Yeah.
Because we don't, everybody on our side, I hate saying our side, everybody on where I was standing said, we don't hate those people.
Yeah, but they don't put that on the news.
But they never show that. So I says, please let one of them speak to our group. We don't have to agree. Just let them talk. And they did. I took my cue from a video that I'd seen on YouTube of a Trump rally where some Black Lives Matter protesters were allowed to speak for 2 minutes, and they had understanding, and they shook hands, and they could agree on some things. Because accountability does make a difference.
Because you can't find a common ground if you're yelling at each other.
No, the protesters came to yell, and when they didn't give that voice, they gave them the voice of listening. That's how you fight. We're talking about how to fight here on the Johnny Rooster.
There's a reason why the scripture says, be slow to anger and quick to listen.
Yes. Slow to speak.
And slow to speak.
Yeah, you don't have to speak first.
No.
If you let them talk.
Let
My
them talk.
my son is in the military. He's in the Navy.
Hear him out.
He's listening to people. He helps the chaplain, and he listened to me yesterday. I vented about some things that I think about this, the response to COVID. I have some problems, some hang-ups with the way things are handled. I vented, and he listened. Any age person can listen.
Yeah, absolutely.
Don't write off a
same,
young person as not knowing.
No.
They're going to be listening.
Yeah.
I'm getting a guy on 30 years younger than I am. He is lending a voice to me saying, John, I accept you as who you are. He's a professing Buddhist. He has nothing to do with what I do, but he says just from an outsider's perspective, you're coming across hostile and not willing to listen, and you just want to be heard. And I agreed. I said, I'm admitting I'm a proud and selfish person. That's how you fight, guys.
Yeah.
I totally disagree with the guy, but I totally understand
where he's coming from.
He's telling me, I accept you, but you're angry against people that are liberal and that are different.
Yep.
And I am. I'm confessing that. I've shown an angry spirit. To my black friend, I said to her on that conversation, I think I'm superior to you, and I wept on that phone call. I said, I, in my heart, think I'm better than you. And I don't know how to make that not be a reality. I'm just saying
The fact of the matter is, I don't think it's because of the color of her skin, though.
No.
All of us want to feel like we're superior
We think
to
we're
everybody.
better than any other human. I think I'm better than my family, other people I associate, because I'm me. We all consider ourselves first.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I got to realize that, and I say, I don't care who you are. We think we're better. So how do you fight? You empathize.
That's like my dad said that he was getting on to his sister, my aunt, about being self-righteous.
Yeah.
And then he was talking about how he's glad he's not self-righteous. And God told him, you're being self-righteous about being self-righteous.
That's right. I can be proud of how humble I am.
So today, yeah, I really do. I think
I hope that rang true.
I really, really enjoyed today's show.
Yeah. I hope that if you just tuning in, go back and watch this.
And that'll be this Friday.
Watch this thing.
Well,
Seriously,
yeah, we won't talk about
through.
the time. But yeah, you can watch this show.
But just
not just this one specifically.
Is this shareable?
Yeah.
Just let people know about this. This is how to fight. Everybody's fighting now.
Yeah. And then the only way to fight is to
empathize,
come together.
Listen to them.
Yeah.
Stand among them. Stand among them.
So the Morning Mouth with Johnny Rooster and Pastor Matt airs as of right now until we get a full hour time slot, which might be happening sooner than you might think. Will be on Fridays from 9 to 9:30.
Okay, that's the time slot you have now at Axe Media Group. And
Axe Media Group.
The mission of Axe Media Group is to help educate people on social issues.
Yep.
And one of the things we do at Morning Mouth is to do things that aren't being talked about typically on other formats, because I know there's a lot of talk in the public, and I know I tied it into the controversies, but how to fight matters with any place in life.
Yeah.
And
it looks like we're out of time, brother.
Wonderful show and good times, and learn how to fight fair and fight right and fight clean. Don't stop fighting for the truth.
That's true. Get it? That's true.
Fight for the right. This is a song that's not wrong.
That's right. Bye, everybody.
Take care.